Hey guys, how's it going? I am joined with Miss Freya once again this week, and we're going to be hardening off my seedlings today. Sorry, hi. We're going to be hardening off seedlings today, and I'm so excited because, oh, thank you. Can I grab this? You guys, look at how big these dahlias are. And my first dahlia bloom. Isn't that so exciting? This is the Orange Impact, and it's my first dahlia to bloom. First dahlia of the year. I think I'm earlier than most anyone else, and I'm just so excited. So I need to start getting them hardened off. You can see, look at the roots. They're all coming down out the bottom. These guys are so ready to get out of these containers. And so I need to spend the next couple days hardening them off. We don't have any worry about a frost on our forecast. I can't stop staring at that. That's so pretty. Why are you looking at me so intense? So we're gonna start hardening these guys off because then I can get them planted in the next couple days. We've got really cold weather and we've got overcast weather, which is actually like so perfect for hardening off seedlings. With hardening off, it's really important because you want to make sure that your seedlings don't get like a sunburn. She keeps getting me with her feeties. You want to make sure that your plants don't get sunburned, and if you put them out too early, then the UV rays will, or if you put them out too early and you put them in the sun, the UV rays will cook your little plants and they will die. They're used to indoor temperatures and they're not used to any UV rays at all. And so you have to put them outside. Today they're going to go out for probably about 2 hours, maybe 3 actually, because it's cool and because there's overcast. There's just cloud cover, and so I'm thinking that they'll be totally fine for a few hours. They're gonna just sit on the front porch. I might leave them out longer than 3 hours actually. I might really harden them off today because there's 0 UV rays. And then I'm going to tomorrow leave them out about the same amount of time, maybe a little longer. And then the third day I'm gonna leave them out all day long, and then the fourth day I'm going to leave them out overnight. And that's always the scariest for me because I'm like, hey, are they gonna make it? And then after that they can start going into the sun and everything like that. And these dahlias should be totally fine. So today they're going to be in like a shaded area. Tomorrow they'll be in like a dappled sun. The next day they'll be still dappled sun. And then the next day they're not going to be in full sun because they are in their containers, but they'll be where they're getting plenty enough UV rays on their leaves that they should be fine. So that means hopefully in like a week and a half, I can get these guys all, sometime next week, I will get these guys all planted in the landscape. This is exciting. Okay, we've got our little seedlings hardening off and our dahlias hardening off, and I'm trying to beat the rain. It's not working the best. It keeps sprinkling on and off. We've had nothing but storms lately, and so I'm trying to just get out anytime that I can. So now we're gonna do a little bit of trimming of a plant that needs to get sheared back. I'm just gonna come through and I'm cutting it right back to the fence line. It's over on my neighbor's property right here. And usually twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, I do come in and I shear it up a little bit. And so that's gonna happen today. And then I've got a couple little plants that I do want to get into the landscape. So normally you can walk through here and it's not an issue. And normally I keep this thing sheared up to the fence line. I have not. So we're gonna get this thing cut back. I mean, you can see it's totally just hanging over the fence. This isn't even part of the espalier. This is it just hanging over the fence. So we're gonna hack this thing back and hack it back really hard today. I definitely just neglected it this fall time. crazy? So, I mean, you guys saw how far I was hanging over the edge of the fence, and now there's actually going to be so much more light in here, which will be nice because it'll actually make it so our house also has some light. That's our living room right there. And so, I don't know, it feels brighter. I'm probably going to leave all of this here until the rain stops, just because I don't want to pick all of it up while it's sopping wet. Isn't that crazy, though? It's a very tall hedge. I do kind of wish that it was like topped right there. I feel like it would look like a really clean hedge, but whatever, who cares? I don't mind that at all. It's really nice. I love the hedge being there because it offers privacy into our living room and into our neighbor's living room. So it's a very important hedge. It cannot come out. But it does need maintenance, and there's a lot of maintenance that it does need. So it's worth it. I do love it. I love having it. And now we're going to move on to the next thing. I was up front getting ready to show you guys what all I have to get planted, and he cleaned everything up for me. He's just an angel. So I don't want him to know that I know that he cleaned it all up. My plan today is to get some Dusty Miller planted. Isn't this gorgeous? I love Dusty Miller. I might have planted too many. I don't need as many as I started, so some of these I'm probably going to take down to my grandma's house. This is the Silver Dust Dusty Miller, and I have 16 of them. I think I'm going to plant 8 of them, maybe. And then I also have these forget-me-nots, and they're ready to get in the ground. So we're gonna get these guys planted today also. So I'm very excited. I love forget-me-nots. They're one of the first flowers that I planted, and they kind of like stole my heart because they're just a very delicate little flower, and they're very, very sweet. And Carmen sent me these, and they were supposed to be like to remember our dog who passed away. And so these are going to go into our garden to remember our dog by. He's too good to me. I'm gonna let him finish cleaning up before we go back there. But these are the Bootstrap 4 cells today. Normally I was starting all of my seedlings in the 6 cells, but the 4 cells just, I don't know, they buy you so much more time and you don't have to pot things up nearly as fast. So buy the 4 cells from Bootstrap Farmer. The 6 cells are great. I do love them. If you have to start a ton of things, this has made it so I limit how many of things that I do start. I still start way too many, but I don't start nearly as many. Because normally I would have started like 24 Dusty Miller because it was really easy and it took up the same square footage as, 8 of them. And so this has made it so I limit how many I start, which has actually been really, really nice because then I was getting overwhelmed that I had too many seedlings. So 4 cells from Bootstrap, or buy I think they're the 4-inch ones, and those are so good. I'm loving the big, huge ones. I'm also loving having all the color, which is really weird. I don't typically go for so much color, and I think because there's 0 color when starting seeds, this has been really fun. What a man. Oh, where are you going? Look at this, he got it all cleaned up. I wasn't even gonna do it today. So this bed right here, we're going to pull out the kale. Those are going to go to the chicken. You can see that they're starting to bolt, so these are no longer useful in the garden. I mean, the bees will absolutely love them, but I don't love this look, so these are going to get pulled. And then I want to plant the forget-me-nots in here because I think that that'll be really sweet. And then the Dusty Miller is going to go into one of the new jelly beans. They're really pretty, but not the vibe we're going for here. cleaned up out of that bed, fed it to the chickens. They were not interested in it, and I found that it was actually covered in aphids, which is kind of annoying. I didn't realize that it had aphids on it, so it was definitely time for it to go. Being covered in aphids and being stretched out like that, it was done. And then I got the forget-me-nots planted in there, but there's only 4 of them, and so it doesn't really look like much. The big impact for the day was getting this thing cut back. Now we can walk there and breathe. I always felt a little claustrophobic in that, and so now it feels like there's actually room, which is really, really nice. And I want to show you guys the tulips. I keep giving you guys little updates on those, and it's our sauna tulips and our clear water, and I swear every day they're getting more and more color, and they're just so beautiful. So this bed here is full of sauna and clear water, and I really love clear water. They're all closed right now. They open up, tulips do, during the day when it's warm, but it's a cold day, so they're staying closed, and they have to stay closed. If they were to stay open, water would get inside of here, and it would wash away all of the pollen. And so tulips are ones that close up because their flowers face up. If a flower normally faces down, they can stay open all the time, or if they're very short-lived blooms like that, like the camellia back there, then they can stay up. But this is one flower, one bloom, so it has one chance to pollinate, and so they face upwards, and then they'll close up when it's cold and at nighttime, and then they open back up during the day once it reaches a certain temperature, and it allows pollinators in. So they stay nice and tightly closed. And then look at these. Aren't those so gorgeous? These are the sauna tulips. And then I have a couple of these ones over here that have actually thrown multiple blooms. So like this one right here, it had 3 on it, and I accidentally popped one of them off. I'm so mad at myself because it would have been so interesting to see how that worked. But this is one stem, and you can see that it's got 1 bloom, 2 blooms, and then there's another one back there that has 2 blooms coming out of one stem also. And it's just the clear water, and it's just a couple of them that have done it. It's not a whole lot of them. It's not every single one of them. This one also did it, but it's split down a little bit further. So it's very interesting. Normally it's just 1 stem, 1 bloom, that's all you get. But I'm just really, really happy with having the sauna and the clear water. The sauna, isn't that stunning? It just looks unreal. They're so gorgeous. And the sauna ones, last year they lasted so long, and so these are a mid and then these are a late, I believe is what it is. And so I planted them so that way I'd get a staggered bloom time, but we had some unseasonably warm days, and so they've all kind of like taken off, and they all started blooming at the same time, which is kind of a bummer. The clear water started blooming a little bit sooner, and then the sauna came probably 4 or 5 days later. It is what it is. I'm just happy with any blooms, really. I just love tulips, and I tell myself every year I'm not going to plant them because it's so much work, and they don't come back for me, and I won't lift the bulbs up, and I won't divide them, and I won't store them, and that's way too much work. And they're like $1 a bulb unless you buy them in bulk, where they're still like 60-70 cents a bulb, which is, it's a lot of money, but I still think they're so worth it. And I tell myself every year I'm not doing it, and then I do it, and I'm very, very happy that I did it. So Dusty Miller, let me show you guys that. We've got the jelly bean beds here, and this is where I planted all of the Dusty Miller, just to kind of like hide this electrical box a little bit. My plan is to get some outdoor lighting. Ooh, big old blue jay just flew by. So this bed has electrical and that bed has electrical, and I'm going to do outdoor lighting. So these beds will be lined on the outside so you can walk the pathways, and the pathways will all be lit up, and the inside will be lit up really nicely. So I wanted to kind of mask that a little bit. I'll probably end up spray painting the box black, but I think the Dusty Miller around it will help shield it a bit so you don't see it. It's not very noticeable once that all grows up, and it will look like that little silver patch right there. So eventually you really won't even see that ever, and the Dusty Miller will continue to winter over for us until I decide I no longer want it. And then every time I show this area, I get questions about why is the fountain there and not in the center here. And that's because I do have a very set plan for this area. And I think that fountain looks very just like dainty in that bed. Whereas if it was here, it would look kind of out of place. It would not be the right size for it. I've also gotten questions as to why is it not here? And I don't know, I didn't want it there. I don't know. I really do like it right there. I love where it's at. And then this section here is going to be a dining table, and the dining table is going to come all the way. I'm still looking for the right one. The dining table is going to come all the way to here. So it's going to be a very large dining table. I want to be able to have 6 people sit on the sides and 2 at the end. So I want to be able to host for 8 people here. And then over here, I really want to do a fireplace I just can't do it. We've talked to contractors, we've looked at doing it ourselves, and it's going to be thousands of dollars. So we're just not going to. We're going to do a fire ring now, and then, or I might do like a fire ring here, and then I want to do 4 chairs around it. Initially, I thought I would do a fire ring and 2 chairs, just for Brent and I. But realistically, it would also be nice because Jalen is always up, or one of my other sisters is always up, and my sister Nina, or like when my mom comes to visit, to have, 3 or 4 of us be able to sit around a fire pit. So fire pit, chair, and then there has to be a walkway in between. So there really won't be much because the walkway is going to be pretty narrow in this section. So no fountain in the middle, and eventually there will be a dining table. The ones that I'm looking at though, they're so expensive. Outdoor dining tables, because I need it to be able to like last and survive being left out. Very, very pricey. So if you guys have a good source, I really want a stone one. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if that's even a possibility. I'm also looking at teak ones, thousands of dollars. I just didn't know. I never even looked. I just didn't know, had no clue. So if you guys have a source and it needs to be cottagey or formal, one of the 2 vibes. I don't want coastal. I really want to go cottagey. I really want to go like Beatrix Potter. I really want to go English cottagey vibe, touches of formality. That's the vibe I'm going for here. So if you have an idea, let me know and I will look it up. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. That is going to be it for it. Rainy day, and there's so much more rain to come. So I hope that it's not raining. I hope it's not snowing where you are. Thank you for visiting our garden, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.